Do I remember? Oh, you want to hear a story?
Were you there for that?
Not only was I there, I was on the radio at the time. And so I was working with the Jets organization. I was the man in the stands. I was the guy that was like, hey, we're here in section 212. We're giving away luggage to this person right here. If you can answer the question up on the board. Like, I was that guy. And I did it for 10 years. I started with the Manitoba Moose and continued on when the Jets came back. And the Jets were on the road. You described it perfectly. Adam Party went into the end boards. It was down in the corner. Glass falls back. He ends up with his upper extremity in the crowd area, which happens in professional sports. There was a gentleman who reached over and pulled the helmet off of him and put it on, and then his wife dumps a beer on Party, and Party was interviewed after. He goes, it was a little sticky, but hey, it's the way it goes. I'm glad everyone was okay. And I went on my radio show the next morning and I said, oh, this is perfect. Like, I actually saw it as something that could be really cool. And what I suggested was, next time the Chicago Blackhawks are in town, and keep in mind, Winnipeg and Chicago have a very storied history, not only in sports, but just as far as the two cities. I mean, Winnipeg was known as Little Chicago for a long period of time. And so one thing that the NHL, I think, had been lacking for a long time is having real, outside of the original six, is having really hardcore rivalries. I mean, that's the reason why they reshuffled all the divisions and made them play inside their division more, so they were looking for rivalries, right? And I thought, oh, this is perfect. Like, this is a gift on a platter. When the Chicago Blackhawks show up, we all wear helmets. Every single person in the stands puts a helmet on, because this shows the Chicago Blackhawks fans, we don't need to steal players' helmets. We have our own. We're a hockey town. We all have helmets sitting in the garage that we can blow the dust off of. We're going to wear helmets to the game. Went on social media, hashtagged it Helmet Party, and I thought, this is great. I thought this was going to be the greatest thing in the world. Next thing I know, I get told to shut this down by my superiors. The gentleman in question who had pulled that helmet off, he was out having a time with his wife and friends, because he was a rather successful business person in Chicago. And from what I understand, he had sold one or maybe a couple of his car dealerships in Chicago. And to celebrate, they were out for a night on the town. And he was 3 sheets to the wind. Good for him, as he should. Perfect scenario popped up. He gets to tell a story for the rest of his life. Apparently, he did not like this idea of it being pushed any further than it already was. And I thought to myself, 50 years from now, we could have Chicago Blackhawks fans and Winnipeg Jets fans wearing helmets when they play each other at both barns, not knowing what the original story was, but it just becomes one of those things. Hey, why do people wear helmets when they go to Jets games and Blackhawks games? I don't know, but it's awesome, isn't it? It sure is. Anyways, he wasn't a big fan of it. Called Stan Bowman and said, hey, I need to get a hold of this. Like, I need this to go away. This isn't good for me. This isn't good for business. So eventually it gets to Chipman. Apparently there was a sum of money that was donated to a certain charity. The whole thing got shut down, as at now Canada Life Center was told no helmets will be allowed in the building for security reasons. After I found this out, I was rather disappointed. I was a little butthurt, if you want to call it that. And I went on my radio show the next day and I said, I think it's really unfortunate that the Jets management is more concerned about the Chicago Blackhawks fans than they are about their own. And that was basically the nail in the coffin for my career at the rink, which worked out pretty well anyways, because my wife was pregnant with our second born. I was thinking about stepping away anyway, so I finished out the rest of that season, and that's the story. But again, I still, truthfully in my heart, I still think that was a missed opportunity for the Winnipeg Jets, the Chicago Blackhawks, and the National Hockey League to have a really cool rivalry in something that other sports would look at and go, man, I wish we had something like that.
Like the Saskatchewan Rough Riders wearing watermelon helmets.
Exactly. I really think it had the potential to be something bigger than the actual game. People, and you're always looking to get fans in that aren't your hardcore fans that show up to every game. You're always looking to bring extra people in. Oh, hey, Blackhawks are in town. We're going. I don't like hockey. We get to wear helmets. All right, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes one of those cultural events.
And you didn't know, Dave said, you can't fire me. I quit.
You can't fire me because I quit. Hey, more hockey content. It might be old. It might be new. It might be a full episode. It might be a half episode. But you can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?